It's okay though.
Too much homework?
Yeah.
Thanks, tell people.
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Okay, well, thanks for coming in.
Well, thanks for
and
doing
meeting
this.
us.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah. We're just gonna start out, we'll each ask you questions, and, first one we're gonna ask is just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
And why you're applying for the Grit Scholarship.
Yeah, for sure. So, I have 4 siblings. I was born and raised in Omaha. Yeah, because I'm kind of like a busy family all the time. A lot of things going on. I had like an older brother, and we would always go to like baseball games and stuff like that. So it's just very family oriented for me, and yeah, I would always just be with my siblings like 100% of the time. And yeah, and that too, we always like were involved with our school too. St. James is where I went to grade school, and so my parents loved the church, and so we were always there all the time. So that kind of inspired me to do more for my high school too, for Mercy as well. So yeah, and for the grit, I think I just have grown a lot as a person, and I think because of that, I just feel like I have the confidence now to apply for things like this, and like I put myself out there, and it's something I didn't really usually do. I've always been really scared to do, really nervous to talk to people, and I think just putting myself out there for this just is even building my confidence even more for all the things I've done.
And when you say kind of grown as a person, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, so for sure, I've always been like really scared, like very nervous to talk to people. I've always been so self-conscious about like what people think of me. I've always tended to like see what people thought of me and kind of compare myself to other people. And now that I've like done things like student council, and I'm student council president, I've done volleyball, and I just started cheer this year. I think I've just thrown myself out there, just like went on a limb, and I think it's given me confidence, like I can do these things that I thought I couldn't do before, and just now I just feel like I have so much confidence because I've just been doing these things, being with the most amazing people too who are uplifting me as well.
Right.
Yeah, very good.
You want to go again?
Go again, that was my question.
I said, how have you grown as a person?
Okay,
You want me to go? Okay, I'll go. That was kind of a follow-up.
Yeah.
Clearly this interview will be more organized.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Interviews will be too good Okay, tell me about a challenge that you faced and how you have overcome it.
Yeah, for sure. I think again, just my confidence. My entire life, I feel like I've always just compared myself to like my peers. My older sister, she's amazing. She's always been so good at she's always been so neat and tidy, and I've always just wanted to be like her. And I think I've always just wanted to just compare myself to people and think I'm just, you know what I mean? And I think the challenge that I had to overcome was that, and I've always just been so self-conscious, thinking I'm not good enough. And I think running for student council, I think that was that's what I did freshman year. And when I finally made it, I was like, wow, I can do these things. I can overcome my just things I'm scared of. I was very scared to talk to all my new classmates, and I was just like, oh, I can do this now, and it just built me. Made me think oh, I can talk to people, I can be a leader, and it just made me go out for JV captain too for my volleyball team, and just be a part of my class more too. Things like our hallway decorations and their class dances, something that we do every year, and I've taken a charge of that for class dances. I've taken charge talking to my classmates and stuff like that. I've just grown as a person, and I think now I'm not afraid to be myself anymore. I don't have to compare myself to others. I know I'm worth it, and that's all that matters, and I just can bring all my talents by myself, and I don't need to be other people.
How do you see yourself taking that to the next level at Creighton?
Yeah, for sure. So at Creighton, I think that I won't just be a student, you know what I mean? I definitely won't be nervous to go out, be a part of leadership programs, be a part of programs that will help me learn about new people. I love to meet new people and learn about their experiences and who they are, and I think it just builds me as a character too. And I just think on the Creighton campus, I will definitely be really involved with what I do, and want to make just not myself better, but the whole campus better too. Make my peers want to learn, be ready to learn, and just love where they are at and love the community.
Well, what do you like to do for fun?
Yeah, so I love to be around people so much, so I love hanging out with my friends. Our favorite thing is to go to Spaghetti Works, so we're always at Spaghetti Works. And I'm always with like my sister too. My sister and I are really close. And so we love to like play with like balloons, like don't let the balloon touch the ground. We just like love playing like little fun games like that. And like we've always been obsessed with like the Wii and stuff like that. So just like games and yeah, and then now I have a baby sister too. She's just turned 1 actually, so I love to like hang out with her too and just like watch her grow. And it's really fun.
What are your long-term career goals?
Yeah, for sure. So I definitely want to have more than a bachelor's. I think I want to go master's or maybe a doctorate. I was thinking about dermatology, so definitely just learning a lot more about that. And I definitely want to like shadow dermatologists and stuff like that. I know a couple people. My mom, she worked in a dermatologist clinic too, so it's kind of inspired me. I really liked like the people she worked with too were super nice. Like it was just a great thing for me. And yeah, so just like learning about that and also kind of just learning about myself as a person too, learning like my strengths and weaknesses, how I can build my character, just new studying techniques too, just to make myself better in every aspect.
So outside of the classroom and career stuff, what do you hope to gain from the college experience?
Yeah, for sure. I think again, just learning about new people, and I know Creighton has a bunch of like out-of-state students, and just learning about new people and how they interact and go about things. I always just found that so fascinating because I always feel like it just makes me better as a person. Like, oh, this is a new direction I could take for myself for many things, and just seeing new people, learning about their culture, their life. And I think that will really benefit me to be better, especially if I want to be in like dermatology and like having to talk to people every day, knowing how to navigate any like hardships with like conversations or just knowing people and how to interact with them. I think that's a big thing for me.
Okay. Do you have any questions for us?
I don't think so. Thank you.
Well, we're gonna get some for you.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah.
Okay, so they will always ask you, any
Mhm.
questions for us?
Yeah.
You want you
Yeah,
want to
for
have
sure.
questions.
Mm-hmm.
When we meet next week, we'll go
Mhm.
in detail about the 3 women that are going to interview you.
Okay.
But they can answer any question. It doesn't
Okay.
have to be just about
Mhm.
grit.
Okay, sounds good.
You could talk about, getting to know students from, you talked about getting to know students that are different from you, learning different
Mhm.
cultures and stuff like that. You could ask questions about that.
Yeah.
Or,
Okay.
you could say something about, I've really enjoyed my leadership
Mm-hmm.
experiences
Yeah.
at RC.
Okay.
Can you talk to me about different
Mhm.
leadership opportunities
For sure,
available on
yeah.
campus? Something
Mhm.
like that. You want to get them talking about their experiences
Mm-hmm.
as much or more than
Yeah.
them having you talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anytime somebody talks about themselves,
Mm-hmm.
they think that they're important. And
Yeah.
they'll be like, Mary, you're such a good listener.
Yeah.
Ask me all these questions, that sort of thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So I would come up with, a few questions.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of something to think about over the weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Sounds
Do
good.
you plan, if you get this set, living in the dorms or living at home?
Probably in the dorms.
In the dorms, okay, because you mentioned, you're close with your family, so I wasn't sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if
for
that's something like, that's more, I was just thinking like tying in your family to the question, but I don't know.
Mhm.
I was thinking if she lived off
Mhm.
campus with her family, then what would you do? But,
sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
okay, never mind, scratch that one.
Mm-hmm.
Or you could ask about their pre-med program,
Yeah.
or, hey, I don't wanna go to med school right away.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Clubs,
sure.
organizations,
Mhm.
I've been so involved at Mercy, I'd
Yeah.
like to continue that. And like
Yeah.
Ms. Howard said.
For sure.
Yeah. What's power to?
Yeah, I had something that I was going to tell you, Mary, and then
Mm-hmm.
it just it escaped. I'm sure I'll think of it again. So one thing that I think would be helpful, so those questions that I sent you today,
Yeah.
would you be willing to kind of go through and kind of like type up
Yeah.
answers so
Mhm.
you're kind of prepared for them?
Yeah.
Because we want to always tie it back to your grit.
Yes. Okay.
Because that's what they're really going to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
And you can talk about, like everything should come back to your grit. Talking about a little bit more of an explanation about your family. You know, that
Mhm.
you're close with your family, your siblings,
Mhm.
you know, your sisters and me. I know what I was
Yeah.
gonna think of. At the end of this, Mary, I would come up with kind of, have you ever heard the phrase an elevator speech?
Yeah.
Okay, we need your elevator speech because
Mhm.
if I'm correct on this,
Mhm.
they need to know that if you don't get this scholarship, you can't go to Creighton.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Yeah.
Mhm.
And you need to explain to them,
Yeah.
you know, going back to the tell us about you.
Mhm.
4 siblings,
Yeah.
one just turned 1.
Yeah.
It's always been my dream to go to Creighton and
Mhm.
explain to them why.
Yeah, for
Um,
sure.
You know, and this will tie back to the letter of recommendation that I wrote for you. I think, Mary, I think you are going to thrive at Creighton.
Mhm.
And I think it's kind of like a larger mercy,
Yeah.
right? I think you have the opportunity for leadership to get involved, to get to know people that are different,
Yeah.
and to figure out who you are
Mhm.
and not get lost
For
in like
sure.
a big
Yeah.
public school.
Mhm.
And so I would like kind of tie into like we need a 30-second as you
Mhm.
leave speech
Yeah.
of, you know, something along the lines of, I know you're going to interview a lot of people,
Yeah. Mhm.
but I just want you to leave you with a couple last thoughts about
Mhm.
me and
Yeah.
why I want to be at
Right.
Creighton.
Mhm.
I know the first time I got my counseling job,
Mhm.
I know I got the job by saying, you're going to interview a lot of people, and I
Mhm.
might not be the most qualified,
Yeah.
but I want this the
Mhm.
most,
Yeah.
and I'm going to do the best
For
at
sure.
this.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so sell them that. So
Yeah.
you got to give your experience of things were hard for you, you overcame them,
Mhm.
you were the student council president,
Yeah.
what you've done at Mercy,
Mhm.
what you're going to do there,
Mhm.
and then the last bit of
Yeah.
Creighton's my dream,
Mhm. Yeah, for sure.
and I can't do it without
Mhm.
this.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds good. Thank you so much for all this. That's so nice.
Well, I was just a couple things to touch on.
Yeah.
So I think you still seem a little nervous, but you seemed very confident.
Yeah.
Like
Mhm.
I could tell you were a little nervous just by now, but like
Yeah.
you were very confident. So
Mhm.
I think that was great.
Okay.
And you had great eye contact,
Mhm.
which was awesome.
Mhm.
One thing, okay, this is, and I'm not saying this because
No,
you'll
that's
notice
okay.
I say like all the time.
Yeah.
So call me
Yeah.
out on that.
I know.
So sometimes in between you'd say yeah for sure,
Yeah,
Mhm.
I have
which
that
is
too.
totally
Mhm.
just
Mhm.
once you catch it, it's kind of a double-edged sword because once you
Yeah.
catch it, then you're like,
Yeah.
okay, when I talk next, I better not say this
Yeah.
again.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I mean, just kind of be conscious of it. Don't let it
Mhm.
ruin your
Yeah.
speech.
Right.
If you
Yeah.
get one here or there, don't beat yourself up about it. But just be,
Yeah.
wise about that.
Mhm.
When you did talk about, growing as a person, and you put yourself out there, okay. I'm sorry, I'm looking at my notes.
No.
You talked about how you kind of had compared yourself to people. But
Mhm.
what made you decide to run for student council? You got to Mercy, and were you like,
Mhm. I was kind of just like, I just want to do it. You know what I mean? Like I
You're
want
like,
to
I'm
do the
just-
things.
I'm-
Yeah.
I'm diving
Inspired.
in?
Yeah. Like I just want to be
Yes.
a part of it. Mhm.
So kind of maybe that like a light bulb went off, or
Yeah.
something where that change happened, where you're like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it.
Mhm.
And I'm
Yeah.
gonna kick butt in it, and it's gonna be
Mhm.
great.
Yeah, for sure.
So I would, yes. Those were kind of my big ones.
Yeah.
Skip, I'll let you kind of.
Well, I had down to the, and yeah,
Yeah.
and I think, like after we ask a question, maybe you
Mhm.
just kind of pause a second to like
Okay.
absorb the question.
Mhm.
And it's common, you're nervous and,
Mhm.
you just want to say something
Yeah.
quickly.
Mhm.
But I think it'll look like you're a little more composed if you didn't rush to saying something
Okay.
so quickly.
Yeah.
I always say, like a sales tactic, this doesn't apply a ton here, but they always used to say the first one to speak loses. But that's from a sales standpoint. But think of that
Yeah.
like, first one to speak, let me just take a breath, let me
Mhm.
collect my thoughts. Nobody's going to say,
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
paused for 3
Yeah.
seconds.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just kind of
Yeah.
Mhm.
gather your thoughts and
Mhm.
say something.
Silence is okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yes.
it is.
Okay.
It
Okay,
really
that's good
is.
to know. I thought
Nobody's
I
gonna be like,
right
yeah.
away.
No.
It's better. And
Slow
you
down
can
and-
say like, that's a good question. And
Mhm.
pause to think
Yeah.
about it. We
And how you
talked
come
about-
out with
Yeah.
something great. And they're
Yeah.
like, wow, okay,
Wow.
great.
Right.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We talked about before we came into that, she can have like her resume, she can have notes, she can have water. These are all things that
Nice.
people have in interviews
Okay.
Yes, totally.
to
Mhm.
slow things down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah,
And
because you
people-
talk kind of fast.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
so
That's
I'll
okay. Yeah,
slow
people
down.
appreciate the note. Like, bringing
Mhm.
in a note, when I see
Mhm.
someone bringing their notes or their portfolio,
Yeah.
I'm like, wow, they're
They're
prepared.
prepared. I think
Yeah.
that too.
Put your
Mhm.
questions on
Yeah.
that sheet
Yeah.
too. You
Yes.
just-
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes, for sure.
slow down, I said that.
Yeah.
Kind of wiggly in the chair.
Yeah, I caught
Sometimes
myself
was
like
watching your back.
Yeah, that's probably
Instead
because
of-
I'm
Yeah.
wiggling too. I
Yeah, I know you are, but I was just like, okay. Sometimes
Yeah.
that detracted from what you were saying.
Okay.
So that's, why I'm putting that out.
Mhm.
Also, and what we say in here is totally confidential.
Yeah.
But did you suffer like any anxiety? I mean, it's anxiety, but were you ever diagnosed, or
No.
is this just what you attributed? You
Yeah,
just,
I
your
just
anxiety?
never like really told anyone about it, so I
Yeah.
can skip this off.
And I don't know if she uses that word. I almost think so.
Well, she does in her
in
essay.
my essay. Yeah.
Okay,
That's- so
so-
coming back to it.
Yeah.
So I would use it again when you're talking to
Yeah.
them,
Mhm.
because everybody knows anxiety, and
Right.
they all know someone that suffers from it, and
That's-
it can
yeah.
be very
Yeah. For sure.
hard. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
And these are 3 women.
Mhm.
They
They
know.
know it's-
Yeah.
No.
They know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Some days we all have it. I mean,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
For
Everyone has
sure.
experienced it at
Mhm.
some point,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
it's, I have a son that has it bad, and
Mhm.
it's horrible to see sometimes what they have to go through. So, I mean, I
Mhm.
understand that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyway, okay, I think that was.
One thing, okay, you talked about learning, meeting new people at Creighton,
Mhm.
learning about new people. I almost tie that. Mercy, I felt like you met new people, learned about, we have a very diverse student
Mhm.
body.
Mhm.
I don't know, even bringing that into the picture, like, I'm
Yeah.
excited to learn more, similar to Mercy.
Why
Mhm.
did you choose Mercy? Because it was smaller?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
smaller. Yeah,
okay,
for
you
sure.
could dwell on that really too,
Mhm. Yeah.
That's kind of how I evolved
Mhm.
here at Mercy, and I
Right.
thought, this is my chance, it's
Right.
smaller, I wanna shine,
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah,
For sure.
and just,
Mhm.
and it's kind of why you want to choose Creighton.
Yeah.
You have,
right.
like you said, if
Yeah.
you don't get this, you can't, I'd make that no.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, for
Tell
sure.
us a little bit about yourself. I have 4 siblings.
Mhm.
I'm from Omaha. I want to stay close to home.
Yeah.
I really love Creighton.
Mhm.
I want to be a doctor. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but I can't
for
do
sure.
all that without this scholarship.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. Mhm.
Yeah. No, I think overall, yeah, that was good.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Don't be nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You go in, and I know. Just go in, picture, I don't know.
has your faith done anything to help you with his anxiety or seeing things?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at Mercy I've kind of grown it a lot more too. I feel like just like being in the chapel too is something I haven't really done that much. Kind of just like church, but like adoration and stuff like that. I think it was really helpful. Like
Okay,
doing
all right,
that.
yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty good
Maybe
too.
not like ways you've learned to just kind of
Mhm.
calm and meditate.
Yeah. Mhm. For sure.
And that you're accepted at Mercy, that you're,
Yeah.
And
life.
that will all you hope all that happens at, from what you know about
Yeah.
Creighton. That would
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah,
No, it's a lot.
and if you want to do this again, after all this
Yes.
feedback, you're more than
Mhm.
welcome
Yes.
to. We do that. Actually, last year, I think all of them did it again.
Mhm.
I know
Yeah.
some are.
How come you joined
Busted
cheer
this
your
year.
senior year?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I kind of just went on a limb because all my friends were doing it. I was like, I'm just gonna do it. 'Cause
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
We were talking about that, the seniors.
Yeah.
that
I think it's
were-
'cause of the
Yeah.
wonderful sponsor.
Ah,
Yes.
but-
Yep.